Well, hello there. I'm a couple minutes early, so let me just set this up. Miss Olivia would like to say hello if anybody's on. I have found that she loves to have her tummy rubbed and be held like a baby. So my hope is that since she woke up, mind you, until 5 minutes ago, she was sound asleep on her little bed in here. I thought I would pet her and rub her tummy and then put her back down, and maybe, just maybe, she'll be quiet while I'm trying to make a card. So, how is everybody today? I hope you are well. I am doing well. I've had a busy day. I had someone new ask for catalogs, so I took a quick trip to the post office this morning and got that in the mail. Which reminds me, if anybody would like to have a catalog, just let me know. If you are not already working with a demonstrator, I am happy to mail you one in the United States. That's a Stampin' Up! Rule, not a Nancy rule. That's a Stampin' Up! Rule that we can't sell outside of our country. So, okay, let's see if this will work. Isn't she cute? It's so nice to have a baby kitty. Even though she's 18 years old, she's just a big baby. I'm very fond of her. All right, now to give you my attention. It is almost time for us to start making our card. I'm going to use the Be Mine Suite in the new catalog. Let me grab the catalog. I still can't show it to you. Well, of all things, it's not handy. Oh, it's probably in that pile of stuff right back there. That is what I'm going to be working on next, is the Nature's Sweetness Suite. I'm having a lot of fun making cards. I got to tell you, it's been like this wonderful creative energy to sit down and make 3 or 4. Oh, Gladys, you got the card. I'm so glad. Thank you. Anyway, lots of creative energy going on here in the stamp suite, and I'm stamp studio, stamp room. What shall we call this? Nutsy's den? I don't know. Do squirrels have dens? I have no idea. Anyway, let's get started. I'm going to switch this over. This is what we're going to be making. Aren't these just adorable little bees? I love them. We're going to make kind of our own designer series paper. So this is basic white cardstock with some stamping on it. Well, first we're going to put together the bees. So when I was creating my little chart of what all the stamps are, I decided to cut the bee out of Daffodil Delight. Here I stamped Daffodil Delight on white, but I think I like it better with the Daffodil Delight bee. So we're going to make those today. We're going to make 3 of them. And here's our designer series paper. I chose to use this side, the Petal Pink and Sweet Sorbet hearts. So let's put that aside. We've also got pool party paper. Let's see, let me just pull out what we're using. A medium envelope, a piece of 3 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches, basic white. This is what we're going to stamp on. Here's our designer series paper, which is a card front size. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This is a little smaller because I really, is it really 5 1/2? Is that really? Let me measure. Let me pull. Oh, please excuse my cutting board, my trimmer. I got glue on it last night. Ah, that is 5 1/4. That's why that doesn't look right. Let's grab another piece here and do 5 1/2. Be sure you keep all of these little bits and pieces because they're awfully nice to have in 3 1/4. This is for the inside. It's 4 by 5 1/4. There we are. That is the right size. 3 1/4 by 5 1/2. We'll put my dirty little trimmer aside. And we have a pool party base, which is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Oh, I'm glad you liked the card. Thank you, Gladys. I thought maybe the very first request came through on which sweet to pick was the Be Mind. So I thought maybe the person who chose it would be here. And then we're using scraps. I've got Petal Pink, Daffodil Delight, there's the piece. I just had it in the wrong spot. Oh well. That's okay because I'm going to make another card afterwards, and I'm going to draw 2 names to receive cards who commented on the video, and I will do that probably mid next week. I brought some scraps of the designer series paper thinking we would put it on the envelope, but I think instead we're going to my cat is very distracting. That's Miss Olivia. We're going to stamp on it, but I'm not positive, so I'm keeping those here. And a Sweet Sorbet. What we're not using out of the sweet are the treats, little treat boxes, and the ribbon. So I will put those aside. The punch is wonderful. I love the punch because, look, you're going to do the antenna and the wings and the antenna plus the body, but you've got a chat bubble and you've got hearts, 2 different sizes. I think it's very versatile. And then the Be My Valentine set is what we're using. We're using those stamps, and I've got a lot of them mounted, ready to go. And then the embellishment we're going to use is the adhesive backed hearts and flowers. So let's get started with creating. Oh, I would love to have, if you're enjoying the video, to click the like button. That would be really helpful. We are going to start with the bumblebees first. And the reason we're doing that is it'll be easier to put the card together, I think, if we do it with our bits and pieces first. So we need bumblebee bodies. I'm going to do 3 for this card. See how quick it is? You do have to stop and think and start on the next card I'm going to do. So we have 3 bumblebee bodies. Notice the, I'm breaking up. Oh, okay. I hope it's not me. Didn't say that I was low powered. Every once in a while my internet is not as strong as it could be, but it usually has a booster. Time to stamp the antenna. And I'm using the black Memento ink. I have just, as strange as this may seem, re-inked practically everything on my table. So here are our antennae. Now, one of the things I want to notice is if you figure out where it goes in, it's a lot easier to cut them. Let's see. So here is one. I think we can get 2 off this one. Let's do one on the other end. Alrighty, I'm just going to put that on and set it aside. So here is an antenna. Line it up and press. There's 1. Here is 2. Yep, that's Miss Olivia there. 2 antenna, and we need the 3rd one. Let's see, here we are. Gladys, when you... Oh, you may not be back yet. I'm going to cut off that end. Put my strip away. And do the wings. I did not get out enough Petal Pink for wings. But the good news is I have lots of Petal Pink scraps with me. So we need 3 for this card. And so that's 6 wings. Okay, that over here. Here are our wings. And I think I'm using, instead of the black, I'm going to use Petal Pink. Helps if you actually get the Petal Pink ink out. I cannot believe the day here. We're actually setting records for this time of year for warmth. It is in the 50s. I think they were saying that Seattle might get up to 60s today. Okay, let's look. Two, 3, 4. Let's do 5 and 6. I'll have to do a little trimming around those. I like punches. Anyone else like punches? Okay, here's our punch. There's one. And the one thing about punch is when it's got several pieces on, you do kind of need to do a little trimming. Here's 2. That's why I like to keep some of my strips when I've got extras. Let's see. There's this one. And there's enough. 2 sets of wings. And that one won't quite go in. Let's see. Here we are. Now I've got little strips off, little bits coming off all over the place. Let's see if I can get this one out. There we are. Nice. And I thought, and it just made complete sense to me, that to me these look a little flat. Oh, I guess I got glue elsewhere too. So I thought the Wink of Stella. Let's pull in a little piece of scrap paper. 2, 4, and 6. I just thought they needed to shine. You do need to be a little careful because the ink can smear a little bit. But since it's Petal Pink on Petal Pink, I think that's okay. So I'm just going to paint them with my Wink of Stella. And I hope you're proud of me because on the original, I didn't put Wink of Stella on them until after they were attached. It was kind of an afterthought. So here we go. I apologize for the noisy kitty. Not entirely sure why she decided to wake up right now. Usually her noisy time is at 3 o'clock. Let those just sit here for a minute. Got our antennae. We've got our wings. Grab the bodies. And we need to put black stripes on them. So here we go. Black stripes for our cute little bees. I love these bees. Okay, we will just line up that little stinger. There's one. Two. A little bit off. But I think that'll be okay. We could actually put one on sideways. Think about that. And here we go with the third. Sorry if my head was in the way. Moving up so you can see what I'm doing. Alrighty, here we go. So everybody had fun with family and friends? I hope so. Now little faces. And I thought that each one should have a different expression. So I pulled out the happy face, the happy with the eyes closed face, and the winky face. I don't know. I think the winky face might be my favorite. It's got a big smile. And you just put that right there. Oh, don't want to do winky face twice. I wanted them all to be just a little different. If we had done it sideways, we would have just turned him this way for his face. And then the full-on happy face. I have a friend who has MS, and his wheelchair is decorated with more happy faces than I can count. He has the most positive attitude of anybody I know. He's a pleasure to be around. Okay, let's turn these over. Well, let's not. I like to see what I'm doing. So let me get the glue out. It is possible that this glue is almost done. And what I find is when it's at the end, is often it comes out faster than I want it to. And I make a mess. Olivia is very vocal tonight, yes. She's an hour earlier than usual. And I'm not sure why. At least she has a nice voice, even though it's insistent. Her sister Minette does not have a pretty voice. It is very irritating. I have had fun playing with the bees. And I'm not usually a cute little creature person. Generally speaking, I am a flower person. I am going to grab my silicone mat which is great to have because glue doesn't stick to it. And I also don't make a mess if I use it, like with paper and the glass mat. I'm sure that's Olivia agreeing with me. Or it could be Olivia telling me that she was very happy while I was holding her in my arms, rubbing her tummy. That might be it, because she's trying to jump up. It is impossible to craft with a cat. Thanks for watching anyway, even though it's breaking up. I hope it's not on my end. Okay, I am just going to put the glue on these, because that's the one thing about the Tombow glue, is it dries clear and it's still tacky, so it can still be used. It still glues down even if it dries. Although it's not that warm here, it won't be drying, I'm sure. So here's a wing. See, that's why I gush up the glue, and then I use my fingers and my fingernails to get it off. Feel like my nail tech wiping off the gel color where it shouldn't be. Okay. There is one. Oh, what do you think about my nails? I never do blue. Well, that's not quite true. I did blue and green with a silver stripe when the Seahawks went to the Super Bowl. That was a fun time. But generally speaking, blue is not my color for nails. I like lavenders and purples. Maybe even a burgundy. But I was at the nails the day after my friend's memorial service, and I really didn't want to decide on a color. And so Lynn suggested, she said she had a really pretty blue that was very sparkly. And I said, sure, why not? So I didn't have to decide on a color. Oh, you're warm too, Gladys? Oh, you're okay with it. I wanted a little bit of snow. I keep getting these memories coming back on my Facebook feed, and they're saying that like 7 years ago, how cold it was, and you can see the snow piled up. But that is not to be this year, I guess. The mountain has snow. It's melted a couple times, but it does have snow. Okay, what are we doing next? We are going to use the Sweet Sorbet with our sentiment, love you. And I am going to emboss that, so it'll get a little loud for a very short time. Using my embossing buddy to handle the static. My freshly refilled Versamark. And I'm going to put that right here. Then I've got, if you're going to play with powders, be sure you put the top back on the Versamark. Very important. Otherwise you have a mess. As you can guess why I would know that. Let's see. I have a confession. I haven't bought an embossing powder in quite a while, so it might be just a little bit old. So I'm hoping it looks okay. All right, here comes the noise. I'll clean that up later. Oh, hi, Lori. Thanks for checking in. Just warm that up just a tiny bit. I love embossing. I love watching it change from that grainy little bit Oh, you had bad reception at the cabin? I didn't know you were back up at the cabin. That's nice. Let's see. I think my U is not perfect, but we're going with it. Always double check and make sure you've got it totally, that everything shines. And then I'm going to show you what I mean about the heart. We are going to make our little sentiment a sweet sorbet heart. So we have our bees, we have our sentiment, and next we're going to make our designer series paper. Lost me, you watched the replay. Okay, that's good, thank you. All right, here we are. Designer series paper it is. I love making my own designer series paper, and I don't do it as often as I used to because we have so much pretty designer series paper. I'm going to use the little bee route as a way of flying through the air. I've got a little heart, and this one is 3 little hearts. So I am going to put this about where I want them to be, and use Pool Party to make our flight pattern. Since I have re-inked, I might just stamp that to me. Oh, that looks good. So I think this one can go maybe here. Maybe here. So there's our flight path. And then we have another flight path. How about here? And then the third one is just going to come up from the bottom. Now we'll put away the Pool Party and get out. Well, first we will get the Pool Party all over my thumb, and then we'll get out the next color. Let's do our hearts. And some of these are going to be covered up, and that's okay. That's what we want. And just do some Petal Pink hearts. I didn't line that up very well. There we are. Trying to be random is sometimes difficult for me. And it might be nice to do a stamped off one here or there. So let's do one here, one there in a little different color. A little lighter color. And I'm going to stamp that off. This here. So I should have been stamping off and putting these on, but I did not. Just a few. Oh, hi Shirley. Good to see you. So are you setting records today too for a warm day? Oh, I want Sweet Sorbet. That's what I want. I didn't get Sweet Sorbet out. Here it is. I've just got so much stuff in the way I can't reach it. Okay, a little Sweet Sorbet. Lori has a great cabin. It's beautiful. I've seen pictures of it in Northern California. So some Sweet Sorbet around my 3 little hearts. Stamping off some. There we have our hearts. And what I did was I put my, let me find my dimensionals here. I put my bees on with dimensionals. I don't know, I always kind of like to give those little bits and pieces that I've glued on things some extra support and adhesion, so I try to kind of catch them with my dimensionals. Okay. They can go off the side a bit, but they can't go off the top or bottom. So here we are. You have Indonesia's too, Shirley. I wonder if it's mine. Boy, I would feel awful if it was. Looking at the, it always asks me though if I'm having internet issues, if I want to boost the power, and it didn't ask me this time. So there's our fully smiling little bee. I'm going to watch it when this is done. If it's bad, I will delete it and record a video and upload it. I think my favorite bee is the one that's winking. Do you have a favorite? Then, as long as I'm doing the whole front, let's go ahead and put our sentiment on. And we'll put the card together quickly after that. Love you. Then, let's see. Getting these out of the way. I thought that since I used the Sweet Sorbet and the Petal Pink, that we could use the little hearts in Pool Party as our accents. We can do 3 of those. Okay. Now, all we have left to do is decorate the envelope, decorate the inside, and put our card together. So here's our card. I would suggest when I'm doing it, Nancy, I'm glad you love the bees. I've got to tell you that I love to say, hi, Nancy, it's Nancy, whenever I run into a Nancy. Anyway, I suggest using a little bit of the liquid glue because this is the exact same size as the card base, and it gives you a little wiggle room. And I put this on flat. That looks good. I'm gonna give it a little back rub. Since we're playing with dimensionals, let's continue playing with dimensionals. And we will put this one on with dimensionals. Miss Olivia has now quieted down. She's asleep on her bed. Well, maybe she's not quite asleep yet, but her eyes are closed. She's looking like a slightly perturbed cat who has been ignored for a while. As much as I love her, she is bossy. Just plain bossy. I guess that's a cat for you. I do sometimes like to hold this up so I can align the bottom on the tape glass top. And then put it down. So there's the front of our card. Let's see, here's our inside. What have we got here? That is just about the right size. Let's go ahead and not stamp, but cut off maybe a 1/2 inch piece of the little bees. Bees in their flight path. Who could not enjoy that? Okay. Back to here so I get a little less glue on everything. I just like a little tiny bitty edge of white at the bottom. And I have a little hangover. That sounds weird. A little bit of designer series paper hanging over the edge. Honest, I've just been drinking Starbucks. And let's see, I like to put my white on because I think glue sometimes shows through on white. And so my preference is to use tape for the white. Less likely to have any see-through. And I have a little tiny sticky thing right here. I don't know, can you see it? A little bit of sticky thing, so I'm going to get my little eraser, my glue eraser, and put that on. And we have an envelope, so let's go ahead and do the same. Well, not quite the same. I am just going to put one thicker piece kind of in the middle. Still room to put my... No, I actually like it over this way. Yeah, maybe I want it to go all the way across. I'll do another 1/2 inch. If you're going to put designer series paper on your envelopes, I suggest using glue or tearing tape, because then it will be firmly established. Nice and tight. I don't want my cards to mess up any postal equipment because they've got my return address. And I don't know, the flap looks a little boring, but I think that's okay. Or we could, do the flap. Why not? Plenty of glue. Oh, okay, that was a little much glue. I thought it was all gone. I was wrong. Put my little bees on it. Those little tiny smudges, those are also little glue bits. And I will fix those with my adhesive eraser. A little trim. And we almost got it. As I said before, I will be making another one of these cards. And for comments and sharing, if anybody wanted to share my video, I will put your name in a drawing. Probably about Wednesday, because that seems to be the day I remember that I'm going to do that. And I will send out 2 cards, or 1 card to each person. Oh, you're welcome, Gladys. Thanks for trying to watch. Okay, here we go. Our card, pretty on the front. Pretty on the inside with its envelope. So I hope you enjoyed it. I also wanted to show you a couple other cards I made. This is one I'm going to do at a workshop. It's pretty easy, but I like it. It's a happy little card. It's got Daffodil Delight with Daffodil Delight ink used for little hives, a couple pieces of designer series paper, just an all-white bee, and I stamped my sentiment right on the base, the layer. So I thought that one was cute. And the other one I have is just 2 pieces of designer series paper with a little ribbon. And this piece of Pool Party actually covers the seam of the 2 papers. And a little bee on his side. Yep. Oh, and the sweet comes with the little treat boxes. Now, I've got to say that I did figure out how to put the treat boxes together. I'm pretty proud of that. It doesn't have any treats in it yet. But I just stamped a little bit with the hearts on the front of the box, wound some ribbon up, and put a bee on top. How easy is that? And wouldn't this be a fun little gift to give? And I think that's all I've got for today. I hope that, again, if you need a catalog, let me know. And I will be happy to send it. I just sent, cover up that light. I just sent catalogs off today. And until I see you next week when we'll do the poetic expressions, until then, I would say to you, happy crafting. Bye-bye.